Hi, welcome to another episode of Stalling. This time I'm joined with Quin, Steelmage, and Mathil. We are going to discuss, Ultimatum and a couple of other things. I won't reveal everything, but we have some spicy topics for you today. Thank you so much, all of you, for being half across the globe and still taking time out of your days to join me here.
I
Yep.
think you're the only one halfway across the globe, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
True.
I'm the host, so you guys are half across the globe. That's the way it works.
Right.
But yeah, that's awesome. It's what time was it again? 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 here.
6
real,
here, 5:30 here. I think like 9 for Quin.
Why are all the best PvE players from like Oceania? It's kind of like they need to look into that. I guess we made it, right? We made the game, so
Yeah, I think
kinda
that's
makes sense.
it. You all get insider tips from Chris. They probably up the RNG a bit. You know, who knows? Who knows?
They just buff our accounts, right? Yeah, they're trying to help out the OCE boys.
Exactly.
I mean, they did give us priority queue just
That is
recently,
actually
so,
one of the topics. One of the topics is the streamer priority queue.
Did you guys only just now get that priority queue? That,
well, not everybody made them like $1 million in Spectral Throw, Mathil, okay? So we had to earn it, alright? We can do topic 1. Let's talk a little bit about Ultimatum, how we like it, etc. And we can start with Quin. How do you like the current league mechanic?
Ultimatum, I mean, in comparison to, I guess, Ritual, I like it quite a lot. And I mean, compared to a lot of mechanics, I think it's nice because you just kill monsters and then you get loot. And then I don't like having to, you know, for example, in the Ritual League, like mess around with all the little things and all the little, like, you know, you just go, oh yeah, do I want to risk it to get the biscuit or do I want to stop? And I mean, yeah, it's basic, but it's got a nice gameplay loop where you just run around in circles and then you get experience and you get loot. Not my favorite league mechanic by any means, but it's certainly better than average.
Yeah, so you like it more than Ritual. What is your favorite league mechanic?
Betrayal.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's saying my microphone's... Is
yeah,
it my microphone terrible or something?
I was saying, what server does it say we're on?
I started the call, so I may have bricked it by starting the call. I don't know. You said start the call, so I did it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll like fix itself. I'm not sure.
Well, we
That's my approach to everything.
You just if we all disconnect, then you call us. Is this maybe?
Yeah, we could try that real quick. This might screw the cameras.
Yo.
Hello.
What's up?
Is this a
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Test.
Seems better. Just can't see. Actually, no. Like everything looks perfect now. Oh. It was.
Saved.
It was good.
Saved. I just edit that part out. Just cut that part out. We'll be good.
Yeah. No, all good. That's actually perfect. Yeah, and what about the meta for this league, Quin? Do you feel like it got changed up enough, or like how do you like the popular builds and stuff?
I mean, what was the meta last league? What were people running like loads?
Slams, ED, what else? Slams and ED.
LEDQ.
What? That sounds like an off-meta build right there. Staff bleedy Q. I've never seen anyone do that before, so that's actually...
As a gladiator,
yeah.
though? Have you heard that? You've heard that? Okay, shit.
I think
nobody does that. Only, I mean, outside of the God Gamer, Quin69, I mean, I haven't heard of anyone doing it, so that's one of the things. No, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It was, you know, there wasn't that many people racing on SFHC this you know, league, so it's hard to say if the meta was massively different. You know, because normally I compare, like, oh, I see, like, oh, what's this playing, and then you know, and then I see, okay, he's playing the Omega ED like Contagion thing, and everyone else is playing the same thing, and they're all like some variant of that, and I'm kind of cringing. But you know, because you know, Steel was playing casual trade league, we had Mathil doing softcore trade league, and then Ziz was on trade league. I mean, it's like there wasn't really a meta because no one was really competing.
Actually, one of the big metas though was like we got to see like all the different flavors of Blade Blast. There's Blade Blast on everything now. On every Ascendancy plays Blade Blast. It's like never seen anything like it. It's like Elementalist Blade Blast, Inquisitor Blade Blast. That's like the current league flavors of Blade Blast.
Didn't it get nerfed? This
yeah, it got nerfed and it's still like the most played, I think, or one of.
I don't even know what it does, and I just know it's OP. Like whenever I go to someone's hideout, they always like drop a Blade Blast on me whenever I was on the trade league because they were all playing it. Like I don't even know how it works. Like why is it even OP?
So basically, it does damage, Quin.
Wow!
Oh really?
Brutal! What the fuck? Jesus.
Sounds pretty good.
Nah, that's pretty much what it's for, though. It just carries. Like, it's just got like a lot of effective, damage, right? Damage scaling.
Is that like the what do you call it? Like those Scourge Arrow memes where he like shotguns the crap out of someone?
Yeah, it's kind of so much damage because it gets so much AoE overlap. You get so much AoE overlap that it doesn't seem entirely intended, I guess.
So just unethical damage, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So unethical build. Anyone plays it, it's got a little deck, basically. Okay. All right. I understand.
All right. That's fair. Let's hear about Mathil. How do you like Ultimatum?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to like put into words at the moment. It is already starting to feel a little monotonous. But I still had sometimes look forward to them. It really depends on the map and the one you get. But it's pretty one-dimensional, right? You walk in and then there's a bunch of stuff to kill, and it's sometimes extremely overwhelming, and sometimes it just takes as long as the rest of the map, so you don't necessarily feel too great about clearing it. First couple of weeks, it was pretty damn fun. It's starting to wear on me a little, but that's kind of the same as almost any other mechanic, to be fair. And very dangerous as well. Like it's fucking rough as a no defense softcore sort of player. So you do have to play it pretty well or build some defense. Like, I can watch Quin's character just fucking running through it comfortably, and I'm like, that looks nice. I wish, I was less stressed out about mine.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it provides... the stand in the circle meme. Yeah, because one of my guys, I had a character and I stood still with that guy in the circle and then he died. What's your opinion on that? Do you just skip those?
Well, I was about to ask, do you skip those entirely now, or what?
I do. After I died to it, I was just like, fuck that.
Okay.
It's not even worth.
No, I did them, even when they were, pre-buff, just because it actually seemed kind of fun. Yes, it sucked, and yes, it was hard, but at the same time, it was like such a different thing that I engaged with it every time, just for the challenge of it, because, SC, may as well.
Sure.
So it was actually just, like, kind of fun for the challenge of it. And then the circle's bigger now, and yeah, obviously, look, sometimes you're like the map mods or some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to do. But since I'm on stream, I never skip these things. I feel like I just got some sort of, pride issue with this thing. Even a lot of the time I walk into it, I'll be like, oh, this probably isn't worth doing. Wave 5 or 6, definitely not worth doing. It's really starting to get bad. This isn't worth doing. I'm going to keep going. So, I don't know. The streaming element really plays into it, I think.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I definitely do the same thing where I do, like, things I wouldn't do if I wasn't a streamer, like volleying or annulling items, just for a little extra RNG as well. What about the meta? Do you like the current meta, Mathil?
As far as I know, it seems fine. Like, everyone tried out the new stuff to begin with. From what I could tell, Exsanguinate, Reap, and a lot of people went Reap, and Reap self-cast just isn't what it's, promised to be, kind of what you would have thought it would be.
Yeah.
Exsanguinate held up really well. Like, I played it. I was very happy with it. I was surprised to see so many people shitting on it, like on Reddit and other places. Just, people weren't happy with it. And I was like, what? It scaled super nicely and smoothly. It was a good
Wasn't it rank 1 build? It wasn't
Rank 1 Heart Crisis F with Exsanguinate.
How could they?
Okay, but like, I think a little bit of that is that I feel like you really won cluster duels for that build.
Yeah.
So a lot of people on Reddit might have like not had those, and then I felt like it suffered a little bit more.
I think maybe maybe people on Reddit maybe had a little bit of brain delay, like
trying to start a fight already.
Bit of retardation or something, like I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Send all haters to Quin69 stream.
Yeah, but it's great.
Yeah. Yep. And
As far as the meta though, I don't know what else. Like, I've kind of just been doing my own thing still, and there's still lots of things you can do. Everything's still fully doable, and I'm trying to figure out other stuff. Like I just did Ellie hit Deadeye that hadn't changed at all, I don't think, but just something I picked up, discovered, and thought, hey, this is really, really good. Surprised I didn't do it last week. And then I see, yeah, lots of people playing different stuff. I think it's in a good enough spot right now. You can still invest into plenty of things from before, and you can still do plenty of builds that were nerfed, and I think it's pretty wide open at the moment.
yeah, there's a few new builds that are especially popular on software. There's like the burning arrow with the Zoph's Nurturer. You have the Berserker Self Chill as well, which is really fun. And then it's the, what are they called? The Hate Forged gloves? I think that's what they're called. I haven't, like, they're so expensive. I haven't been able to get any. Have you guys tried any?
I've just avoided it. If something becomes super meta and super popular and like overpowered, I just basically avoid it for the league.
You can't use them. They'll be like 16, 17 mirrors per, so...
Dude, apparently they were 1C. Whenever I saw those, everyone said they were just 1C, trash. And I was like, I desperately wanted a pair for SSF, and I just couldn't get one. Because it seemed like you could make some really busted builds with it.
They
now
were
people
really
still making
cheap.
busted builds.
Yeah, now they're like almost, what, half a headhunter or something?
Everyone was talking so much trash about them. I honestly, it looked insane, like spamming vial skills. Like, how is that not going to be completely busted?
I
Like,
think people
level
are just
30
very
raise, you want a
used
flat fits.
to new uniques being 1C. I think they're very used to it. Same happened with the shield as well. People didn't really see a use case for it instantly, but I think people are just used to that.
Yep.
Steel, what about you? How do you like the league?
Well, for me, one of the things that stood out was the pausing, right? Which Quin died to, like that was a weird bug, but
Bad coding.
actually, but the pausing mechanic is really nice because obviously UIing is a nightmare. Usually, you know, a lot of the time you'll be UIing in like betrayal. You'll pick which betrayal dude you want to like upgrade or kill or whatever, and then the screen, the UI will close and you're standing behind beneath like 100 Baron mines, just pop you instantly. So this was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. Like that they did that. Like everyone else said, I just think it's like a bit of ritual. That being said, and I said this about ritual at the time, the problem for me with ritual was there was no Atlas passes for it, and so now with the Atlas passes for ritual is kind of good again.
Yeah,
it's like I enjoy it much more than I did when it came out, so that was kind of interesting. But that being said, I obviously the league mechanics pretty solid. Obviously it does, this isn't really targeted at me, but after the only thing I would say is an issue is after a certain point, and again this is because I'm like some 1% Andy, right? Your build gets powerful enough defensively or offensively or whatever that you can just cycle through the waves, and it's just kind of like collect loot again. So you do kind of lose that like top end like risk reward, I guess, after a certain point. But I think that's just because I'm like a 1% Andy playing ED meta cut build, right? Because it is hard.
Yeah. So I think where Ultimatum was different a little bit to a lot of other league mechanics is I felt like ultimatums are very consistently hard. I don't feel like there was anything like, like Maraketh archers from Legion in the start that would just insta-burst you down, or Metamorph with like some Metamorph that would just like insta-burst you. I felt like they were just consistently hard. So, going past wave 3 or 4, you probably needed a very, very solid build. But once you have like that solid defense, like a really high dodge build, really high block build, you're pretty okay for doing like those. Like the boss itself though was insane. Have you guys encountered him yet?
Well, you guys saying there was no choice because you just easily smashed the whole thing, right? Well, imagine this, dude. You got like 4 stacks of ruin. Okay, 3 exalts. You've got 3 exalts like locked in. You're gonna get that. Okay, then it goes like wave 8, wave 9, and then it's like there's another exalt and it's wave 10, and you're already at like 4 stacks of ruin and a T16 map, and you've got 3 eggs. But you go to the greed and get the 1 egg, but risk, I don't know if you guys have fought the boss with the ruin. It's like really easy to get a stack during the boss fight because if he doesn't.
Oh no, I bet during the boss fight it would probably be easy to get stacked. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember having an experience similar where I had 6 stacks of ruin wave 9, and I actually bailed. I actually wussed out. So I did have similar.
Why I went in, bro? I went in and I got the extra egg. I got
Yeah.
4 eggs, single thing, killed the boss. So, I mean,
This would
it
be a
was
different
like
story
one stack
if
of
you
ruin
got-
off though.
Yeah, this would be a different story if you got that ruin stacks. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the thing is, that's working as intended, right? Like to an extent. And I think
Yeah,
the more
yeah.
dog shit of a build you're playing, the more Ultimatum would be like a mechanic where you're actually having to make decisions.
Oh yeah,
like
it is hard.
I think for the
Um,
most part, what Quinn said is true for more people. Like it is still, it's a good balance of risk reward. You're
Mhm.
deciding whether or not you're going in. Yeah, a lot of the time it's going to be, you know, some item you don't really give a shit about, but sometimes it's going to hit just right where you have to make this decision, and it's a really like, you know, interesting league mechanic for that purpose. And I've had plenty of people say that they, you know, yeah, came in with like 6 stacks of ruin, got the Trial Master, and then instantly just got, you know, thrown out because they got slapped by him again, and they're just like, oh fuck. So, you know, there's something there. It's definitely a tough sort of encounter to balance around and play
Yeah.
around.
how many times did you guys find the Trial Master each?
3.
Yeah, I think
Probably, like-
3 or 4 now.
Yeah, I'm probably on like 9 or 10.
I'm on
No,
1.
jeez.
I'm on 1.
Are you
Cash.
doing all your ultimatums? Are you
I am.
completing
I was doing
this?
them.
I quit Pee Wee
all
and I
of
got 3,
them.
man. What the hell?
I was doing all of them and all of them to like finish because like they weren't like none of the builds I played really struggle with them. So
Shouldn't have
yeah,
opted out of that streamer priority, mate.
I
Should have stayed on it.
I know, and I play a
You gotta be in
lot.
red maps, this. You've been dying too much. You've been in yellow maps too much. You gotta be in the red maps room to spawn.
I only
Yeah,
died
you're
4
running
times.
214.
True.
Are you
That's
sure?
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
true.
yeah. I'm
Path
doing.
of
I'm
Exile?
chaining
Are you
16s.
It's only T14 he spawns in, so I mean, I'm just saying,
That's
is like,
shady.
if
I'm
you
gonna
can't,
check the
you can't get the
box, mate.
Trial
I'm gonna
Master
check
in
the box.
lab.
Now I'm just farming lab.
Like-
I've given up on the game. I'm
He
just.
doesn't
I
spawn
live
on
in
lab,
lab
sis.
now. Lab is like Mephisto, dude. I love it. It's
Honestly,
the-
I don't know how you do it. I tune in, I'm like, what the? How
So-
he's running like? I would get like after doing the one lab for the entire league, bro. For the character, it's like and too much for me.
So
Like just running lab over and over. Jesus.
I actually don't like this league that much. I liked it a lot initially, and then I was like, I don't love it. It's like I would give it like a 5, maybe 6. I know, probably around 5. I think 5. But I love the lab changes. I honestly think, and it was Cronax pointed out, like this is literally Mephisto from Diablo 2. It's basically literally Mephisto. You're running
How
like
so?
that same run, and you have like that, like it's like pulling like a slot machine at the end, right? Am I getting a nice enchant? Am I getting money? And it's so good right now with not even the fact that you're getting 3 helmet enchants, just the fact that you get to see what enchant it is before you put it on a helmet is so nice. I actually I love it. It's so much fun.
Well, I kind of had that argument with someone in my stream the other day that was saying, I can't remember if they were saying it or, you know, it was a post somewhere about how it's just not rewarding end game or some shit. I did like, you know, 10 Mavens and 10 Elders and 10 whatevers, and, you know, on average the loot was shit. And then, like, that's the entire point. There is still good stuff out there. There are still these, you know, drops that can happen, a Watcher's Eye, various, you know, stuff, your labs, whatever. There's still niche drops that happen that get you excited. If everything was just either really good or there was nothing, then it's fucking bullshit game, right? There has to be that element of little bit of gamble where there's a huge reward every so often that gets you excited to keep you going. So it just made no sense that none of the end game is rewarding just because, you know, a lot of the loot isn't that good or a lot of the enchants aren't that good. Like, that's what these games are. They're gambling. And that's exactly what Mephisto was back then. It was like, you know, he's saying, oh, MMO RPGs back then were so much better, better rewards or something. And I'm like, dude, Mephisto was literally just running shit until you got a good unique. Bale runs, running stuff till you got one good item. Like, it's just, it was trash system back then, and this is even better.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Path of Exile, or ARPGs in general, behind, like, you guys are saying, behind the smoke and mirrors of, like, clicking and killing monsters, it literally is the core fundamental game design is just gambling. The whole thing. It's like they're just trying to just make it look like a game. But everything you're doing, crafting, looting,
Pretty
killing
much.
guys, it's literally just a slot machine. But like, and that's how they make you addicted, which is good because that means you want to play.
To
But,
give you just
it
that
is
little hit of dopamine that goes, ooh, I want to feel that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I see a lot of that though. I do particularly feel like Maven is bad right now. I feel like with Maven, it's like, oh, you didn't get an orb, you're fucked. Like,
Don't know talking about. I got 3 orbs this league already. That seems fine.
The orbs
just
are the
loot
big
an orb,
room.
bro.
Yeah.
ah, yeah. No, I don't know. I would love to see like a boss rework, I guess, and yeah, at Ziri.
What do you think about the changes, about Maven changes, where you can't
Oh, I love it.
fucking cheese it anymore? Because
I love it.
do you know that was actually whenever I was trying to get an interview with Chris, we had to submit the questions we were going to ask him, and one of the questions was like logging out on Maven. Like, why can you just do that?
Yeah.
You trivialize the entire new boss mechanic by logging out. And obviously, next patch they fixed it. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I was actually very surprised that you could do that to begin with, because they sort of have like an anti-logout protection on Shaper. Because on Shaper, you how long is this invulnerability window? Is
3
it 5
seconds,
or 10?
I think.
No, it's definitely
It's
not 20. 3, 5, or
Yeah.
10 or something.
Yeah.
It's
It was
very
really
short. It's
short.
like-
Yeah, it's 3. So I'm very, very surprised that was that way on Maven. I'm very happy that it's changed now. So yeah. And that is actually the next topic, is Quin's Maven kill. I'm so proud.
Yes.
Quin said he wouldn't do another podcast
Ah.
till he did Maven, and Maven's dead. Here we are, man of his word.
Dude, I'm proud. You realize that I basically already killed Maven, right? Like with ease, bro. Okay, my first ever Maven attempt, the instance crashed when she was coming up to the last phase, and I had all my portals, and I lost the entire thing. And then I went back in, I farmed out the Maven zones again. Okay, I bricked on the memory game, right? I bricked on the memory game multiple times, and I ran out of portals. And then I was like, well, I'm just not going to log out. Fuck it. I'm just going to kill myself because I really can't be bothered farming out the splinters again. And I died. Okay, so okay. I had already killed Maven. Now I just like.
You hadn't
technically-
already
and now
killed
I just-
Maven though. And
No, because of bad coding. Because of the GGG's bad coding. I mean, if my portals
you
crashed
did
the
lose
first
the portal
fight-
to a crash. That was shitty. That was shitty. I felt bad for that. It was
no,
great
not
though.
that one though. I'm talking no. So my first ever Maven attempt. Okay, I logged out, right, and then I went to go back in, and the
Yeah.
portals just deleted. Yeah, so all of them.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah, that was
And
shitty.
that's-
Your arenas were getting pretty scuffed and bricked, from what I remember.
Yeah,
of like the
potentially.
balls. So I don't know if it was going to work out for you.
We'll never know, Mathil. We'll never know. You know, it's one of those things.
It's one of
Alright,
those things.
bet.
But now you
Which is
did
kind
it.
of why you can't claim it either. So.
I can't claim it though. I mean, I know, dude. The fact is, I mean, I didn't do any practice since then. I went in with an inferior build, and then I beat it like first try. Like, you know, I mean, it's just one of those things, man. Like, I mean, I know inside of my own heart that I would have beat it initially. So what I'm saying is, don't lose this. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, you're talking
It's
down
not
to
a
me, like,
good
you've done
thing
something.
though. I'm
Okay.
just happy. It's a
Oh,
hard
shut the
boss
hell up.
fight. I'm trying to be
Oh,
nice.
my-
What the fuck?
No, you're being toxic.
It's a hard
It-
boss fight. Especially,
it
I
was
feel
no
like
pressure.
Maven is probably the hardest boss fight in the game. The first thing you encounter. Like, I think it has like the most shock value because it's so different than any other fight in the game. So I think it becomes quite easy. Like, once you've done it once or twice. But I think it's the hardest fight. If you had to do all of them on just one try, I think it's the hardest one.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically, Quin's the only one here who's done Maven on SSF Hardcore without Harvest being like Giga OP, right? So,
True.
you know.
Or
True.
without logout macro, without skipping the memory stuff,
Yeah. True.
If you guys you guys need to try it with the changes. I'm telling you, like, it's like getting to Maven without the like. You wouldn't think Harvest is like that big, like the changes, but actually,
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't think it's a big deal. Yeah, not at all.
You wouldn't think it's a big deal, but like, dude, getting gear and getting weapons and getting all that shit that you had before, like, you just can't, bro. You just gotta use like trash tier gear. You gotta use that real just dog tamer gear.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it's a challenge. You should try. Try give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going back to SSF next league. Definitely going back to SSF next league. I am actually quite enjoying Trade League just because, like, honestly, just the lab stuff, like having like the shop, the streamer enchant shop is pretty fun actually.
You don't feel like you're abusing your streamer privilege a bit much there, mate?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Um,
unethical.
Well, that's the
Unethical
thing.
streamer
Like, for me,
privilege.
this is like more of a vacation league. I usually play SSF every league, so I did think about that. But I'm doing really, really cheap enchants. Most of them are like 1 or 2x, so it's really fucking cheap. And And I just don't feel like I have anything to prove this league. It's like a vacation league. And I'll be back on SSF next league anyway.
See, I'll just say, I don't think I could do an SSFHC Maven. All hats off to Quin. There's no fucking way I would have the patience
You could do it.
No, well, that's just it. If I could, if I did the same level of prep and all that, maybe, but there's no way I'd ever get to that point. I'd hit like level 93, 94 or something and go, I think my character's probably good enough. And then I'd try and then I'd fuck it up somehow, or I'd just get too sweaty. Because that shit is so intense on hardcore compared to any, I've done boss fights on hardcore and it's such a different ball game. And I don't enjoy it anywhere near as much because of all that. I want to just do whatever I want and, have a bit of extra challenge that I set up myself as opposed to the game itself just being so much more heart pounding.
Just make a bet where you can't stop your stream and you have to stream like you taking shits, showers, everything until you kill the boss, and then you kill the boss, Mathil. Trust me. All right, it's pretty compelling.
I mean,
and like you're getting flashbang in your bed, dude.
Mathil,
I think it would also work more against me, to be honest. I think by like day 10 or some shit, I'd be a hollow shell of a man as opposed to like ready to fucking kill Maven or something. So you're just built different, dude.
When your mum calls you and says your wife's gonna leave you if you don't kill the boss soon, you need to kill the boss, okay? When your mum's literally unironically calling you and saying that shit, okay? Like that's that's motivating.
Well, I got nothing on the line in that sort of circumstance, so it wouldn't work either.
Oh
shit!
I would love to see that. Actually, that'd be great. But yeah, no, it definitely is a very, very big challenge this league, especially with Harvest being nerfed. But we do have the help of our streamer drops, and we can talk about that next. Actually, streamer Q. And for those that don't know what this is about, at the start of the league, there were a lot of server issues. DGD have addressed everything already, but because of like the queue being so big and running in so slow, they gave streamers special priority to enter. And a lot of people didn't like it. Some people did, some people didn't. Quin, what's your take on the streamer queue?
Well, what Chen needs to understand is life isn't fair, at the end of the day.
Oh,
all right. Basically streamers are a higher status and class of people, therefore we should be able to get into the game first. And if you're mad, you're just mad at the world because that's the way the world works. I don't know if I need to go on about Africa right now because I don't know if you know about Africa and drinking. No, okay, I'm just messing it around. But no, I think it makes logical sense. For the guys who they were sponsoring, like they were paying Shroud and all the people, all the non-PoE streamers are paying them a bunch of money to play their game, and they couldn't log in. And I think it's very pragmatic to for the entire duration of the sponsored segment, they can't play the game. Yeah, maybe they should be able to get in before. Okay, I get it. They kind of did drop the ball. It was a little bit cooked. Letting like. I could see why some people could be legitimately molding if you were a competitive, if you're a competitive player and you're like actually going for rank 1 and you're actually going to like level to 100 and do all that, and then you haven't got this queue bus, but some guy who is being competitive does have it. I can see why you could be mad. All the Reddit guys who are molding, like going crazy and doing death threats and stuff, cringe. I mean, if you can't see logically why GGG would do it in the first place and why the logic behind it, like. I don't know. They're not trying to incinerate like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? They paid for all this marketing. They want to get their money's worth. And that's the way I look at it. And honestly, I thought it was just kind of funny just watching everyone maul out. But at the same time, I think GG made the mistake of giving the streaming queue to everyone and not just the guys who were sponsored.
That's fair. You just want to watch the world burn.
Well, yeah.
Steel, what about you?
Oh, dude, I have a different point of view. Well, not a different point of view. For me personally, I like to think there's some sort of semblance of competitiveness in PoE. It's not true competitive. It's not like some esports league necessarily, right? But there's sort of, like Quin said, you're pushing 100, you're pushing exalts, wealth, all that kind of stuff, right? Pushing ladder and all that. And for me personally, when I found out, at first it was a joke. I started laughing, like, haha, Mathil's got streamer cube, haha. People linked me the clips, said it was real. And I was like, if I log out right now, can I log back in? And I did it eventually, and I logged back in instantly, and I was shook because I was like, well, because I didn't ask for this, right? So when this happened, I was like, well, they just took away all that like competitiveness out of it, like Insta for me. So I was actually molding. I was one of the people molding because I had it, because I didn't ask for it, I didn't want it. Obviously, ended up getting it removed, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was not happy about it. I'll be honest. Maybe I took it too seriously. I mean, I do take PoE too seriously though. PoE
It
does
is your
mean a lot to
job.
me. I don't. Not even from that point of view, dude. Because I used to do all this pushing ladder stuff super hard before streaming.
True.
You know, so even aside from the job aspect of it, you know, it's kind of like the alpha and all that kind of crap as well. Which they've obviously if you have alpha, you're not eligible for prizes anymore, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to me, I never should have got it. Like I understand Quin's take about the Shroud having it. That's fine. I have no problem with someone like Shroud sponsored getting it. That's fine. But I wasn't sponsored this league, and I didn't ask for it. So for me, it was like kind of
What if Shroud then went ahead and got rank 1 in HC after his stream priority? How would you feel about that?
That's the exact same thing that I was about to say. Like, it would be completely unethical for you to actually play and try hard. Once you've got that, the Q advantage, it'd be a sham if you got rank 1 and everyone would be like, well, you just had an advantage. Which makes sense why you'd be mad. Which is why it's I don't know how they didn't see that, like, giving Steelmage or like someone who's unironically trying to push to the top rank or the first kill or whatever, a privilege is like omega cringe.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, this league, I was gonna say, right, like, Ziz didn't run any big league style event, right? Imagine if he did. Think how fucked that would have been if he ran some big, like, event with money involved. How fucked that would have been, right?
I feel like that's when they wouldn't have done, like priority queuing and stuff, because
I mean, you hope so, right?
You hope so.
You hope so, right?
Well,
I think they would have cared. I think we've done it.
So
anyway,
specifically for stuff like that, I think in the future, if I was doing a league start event again, it would be nice to just have still like basically just like a secondary hardcore SSF league called competitive league that you can, if something goes tits up, just freeze it, right? Like just the competitive league. That would be good, I think. Still, everybody can join like normal, just like one that's like, in case anything bad happens, just freeze the league, like something like this.
Well, didn't they say they're no longer at all going to do any priority bullshit, so you don't need to worry about that anymore? Like, everyone will get equally screwed over?
Sure. But some people could get lucky and get screwed over less. What if it's a queue thing? Like, say you get in early, but I'm stuck 8 hours in the queue? Then you're killing Maven while I'm still in Act 2?
Yeah, but isn't that just normal league, though? It's like, has there ever been
but
a
normal league, like,
most
leagues, servers have been pretty okay lately. Like the servers themselves.
I've never seen a league where there hasn't been some like glitched mob.
Oh yeah, there's always something
and
fucked
it's like,
up at start.
Because what happens if you just get unlucky? Is you and the betrayal mob has got some bugged, like, you know, you go to a Val side area and there's a cast golem that's actually by mistake doing 2000% more damage and it just one shot you, right? Like on your start of your league and you're like TY killer and you're going for rank 1 and then you're just dead, bro.
Yeah, there'll always be something. There'll always be something. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's the game. Everyone knows that. Everyone accepts that. That's part of the risk, right? Especially on hardcore, where a new league mechanic can and probably will shit on you, or some bug can and will shit on you, and then you still choose to play hardcore anyway. That's your own fault.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You guys feel me?
It is part of the strategy. There's a reason why I let Ziz test the league mechanic before me, right?
Yep.
Well, you just elf test the league mechanic, right? You just elf test the league mechanic. And then you game like with the secret knowledge of the alpha test.
Well, but then you're not eligible for rewards anymore.
Yeah.
No, back before they made that change, right? Like
back before that was a real problem. Yeah, no, that was actually a real problem.
Like, I mean, yeah, that was a big meme.
Yeah. I think the only time I alphaed a lot was Delve. I had a lot of issues. Mathil, what about you? What are your thoughts on the stream priority queue?
I mean, I thought it was mostly overblown by community reaction and stuff. Yeah, it was like it was pretty similar to Quin take for the most part. Just, you know, I'm not as hateful towards everyone, but it was, yeah, like I didn't want any priority, didn't ask for it, as soon as it happened, I didn't even understand what happened. Like the clip that Steele's talking about, I just had the Path of Exile account like say, oh, relog, you know, queue should be better or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I assume they just fixed the queue and, you know, I should relog. So then I did, and then it worked. And I'm like, oh shit, poggers. And then some other people did it as well. And they're like, oh, it only worked for you. I was like, oh, wait, what? Is that priority? I went, I don't fucking want that. I didn't want it to be that way. And then, yeah, from then on, it just started cascading. And I didn't know that we should, you know, contact someone and be like, oh, take it away. Because I thought it was just for the queue, not for like the entire thing. So then the fact that Lord Zizaran was heralded as the people's champion because he had his streamer priority taken away.
Posturing.
While I still had mine, and I didn't even know I was capable of getting some shit removed, I was like demonized by comparison. So that was kind of shitty, especially because like I posted, you know, a couple of videos of some shit and like some tweets and stuff, and I'd have people being like, "Oh, fucking unethical fucking games," and can't believe you'd possibly.
Oh, that sucks.
Fucking. Yeah,
So-
can't believe you just let this happen and you're going through. You're not as good as Zizaran. Zizaran just fucking you lost my follow.
I'm sorry. Okay, but to be fair, no streamer should have gotten shit for that.
Steelmage, fucking this guy, that guy, like they've all asked for you to revoke your privilege.
Okay,
You
but
need to
but
revoke your privilege right now.
the shitty thing is that no streamer asked for it. That's the
but they're
thing.
saying you got this unfair advantage and you're like going to abuse the economy and shit like that. And I'm like 30 hours into the league going, motherfucker, I'm level 40 right now. Like I haven't done anything. I was crashing just as much as everyone else. The only difference was I wasn't waiting in a queue during that time because I'd like get in, I'd be able to do half a zone and then straight back to the fucking start of the game because it kept crashing. So I was like 10 levels over the actual fucking level zone by level 40 or 50 because it was just so bad. So there wasn't any priority in that sense.
Yeah.
So in any case, yeah, I thought it was...
I was gonna your clip of you know how you said you just like GG told you to log out and log in. Okay, I got the clip where it didn't have the GGG part, and it just linked to me like, oh, I just log out and log back in and it works. So I was like, what? Really? Okay, and it was like log out, because it worked for you, right? In the clip. I was like, oh, so we just log out and log in. And I did it, and literally 50% of the chat got debated. And then it was just like a fucking tidal wave of just death threats, people fucking GG, fuck GGG. They're linking their like queue time of like 2 billion. What the fuck, Quin? Fucking. And we're like, what? Just what are you talking about? Like you just log out and log in, bro. And then when I found, and that's when I found out it was a you know, whatever streamer priority queue, and that's when like all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And when, I mean, I don't know how bad your chats were, boys, but it was like, oh, bro, it was all capitals.
People were not happy.
GGG. They wanted, they're talking devs dying and shit. Like, I'm talking, it was bad. It was.
So for me, streaming is actually pretty wholesome, right? Because it's just banter at the end of the day, right, Quin? Most of chat is just banter, right?
Talking shit.
But that day was fucked. It was fucked, man. Like it was bad. I don't know. I mean, Crimea River streamers, yada yada yada, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like by the end of a few hours there, I was like, man, I don't want to be here right now. Like I usually would love to play as much as possible and all that, but with the servers constantly crashing and non-stop discussion about like streamer priority and how this is fucked and, you know, GGG fucking sucks and all that, just like a few hours into the league, I was going, I'll probably just come back tomorrow. And
I went to sleep.
Yeah,
that was the play, bro. I mean, that was the play. If you the play to get the most efficient league starter for this league was just sleep for the first like 14 hours of the league, and then start playing.
No, more like first 22.
Okay, 22. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, just sleep for a whole day, bro, and then start league.
Yeah. The way I looked at it is you maybe got 40% efficiency leveling XP wise. So if you slept for an hour, you only lost like 25 minutes or some shit. So the way I looked at it is if I sleep for 6 hours, I only lose like 2.5 hours or something.
See,
so I was like, it was worth it.
It was so weird. I didn't initially even believe it because what I do every league start is 2 hours before when the queue normally goes up. I sit there like F5ing. Like I'm like enter. And didn't you have you were like crazy early in the queue, right? Still?
No, I think I had a thing, like every league I always get like 10k, so I just put a thing saying I'm position 2 in the queue or something.
I thought that was real. I thought that was real. Everyone kept telling me Steelmage is number 2 in the queue.
Debated, dude.
Oh my god, I actually got tilted because I'm like always trying to get first 100, and I think I was like 200 or something. I actually believed you were before me, and I was like, I'm usually so early. So,
I do that every league, yeah.
That's actually like that's some Rise Q shit. Rise Q t-shirt right there.
I need to do that. Like the difference between like 100 in queue and 2,000 in queue is almost nothing, right?
No, I know, but I don't know. I liked it. Well, this league it was. But
I got spammed. Ziz is hitting you in the queue. Ziz is so much further hitting you in the queue. Like every 2 seconds. It's
it doesn't matter much. But I got in organically, and then people were like, "There's streamer queue," and I'm like, "Nah, they wouldn't do that." I genuinely didn't think they would have done that. And I mean, I have a very, very similar thoughts, obviously. I wouldn't mind that much if they give it to the sponsored streams. I still think that's probably not the right way to go. But what really pissed me off about it, and I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely fucking detest the amount of people I already have to deal with every league. Like, oh, you guys have streamer RNG. You guys are only doing better because you have better drops. And now those guys got so much more ammunition. They have so much more ammunition now, right? Now they're like, oh, well, they gave you guys streamer Q. How many more Exalted Orbs do they give you? So it's like...
I don't believe it.
It was just a tiny bit of validation for them. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really changes anything. You still have to be pretty dumb to like fall into any of that. And you can't value their opinions.
I had a guy donating like repeatedly. And he was convinced. He's like, I watched a Rika video. Rika said you got streamer buff, and you got because they got the queue. You're also getting streamer loot, so then more people play the Path of Exile. You fucking unethical. You've got a buff in your account. And I was like, no cap, zero cap. Genuinely believed it. And then there was a bunch of other people who were also saying, it's true. Like there's a whole community now of people who think streamers have a secret buff on their account because it's more profitable and streamers do well.
Yep.
I unironically believe it.
I remember, and this was over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I always get dragged into dumb arguments on Reddit, and there was this one guy who was shitting on me because I had streamer NG, and he was like, every time I see clips of you, every time I tune in, something lucky is happening, and then I was like, what about unlucky things? Like when I used like nearly 7,000 fusings to link, didn't reply to that, and then I started bringing up like Rise being unlucky, etc., and then I brought up Pox. I brought up Pox being unlucky because he used like 7,000 fusings. And that he did reply to. Then he was like, I'm glad you brought up Pox. He's the only streamer I watch because he turned down streamer RNG. He's ethical. I was like, fucking kill me.
I was gonna say, and they don't like Race QT, right? So they're just like, of course, they're not gonna give it to Raze either because he's a cunt, right? So.
Oh, well, it's like, yeah, it's literally the flat earthers of PoE. It's I just hate that they got more ammunition. That's like,
yeah, but it's still, as you said, the flat earthers of PoE. It's like a very niche community that no one's really giving any credence to. If you look at that sort of stuff on Reddit ever, it's heavily downvoted. It's not a common or a popular sort of thought.
True. That's fair.
Yeah, it's like Mathil Dab, right? It's a way to spot the the low IQ takes, right?
Pretty much. That's what I'm saying. Like you see that and you go, oh, well, that opinion's not worth anything, so you just leave it alone.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, I think that's pretty much all there is to say about that emote. That's pretty much all there is to say about the streamer queue. I think we had like fairly similar thoughts. We could talk about the exploits and the bans around that. Obviously, there was the ban with the survive mechanic, which for those that don't know and wasn't following bans, there was an exploit where you could have in a party people standing outside the circle, and you would get a large amount of loot with not that much investment. You did have to have like the characters had to be like the investment of what you would have for like doing the fractured map stuff, but the maps themselves you didn't need to invest as much as fractured maps. So Empyrean and his entire group got banned for that, and it was like total of 20 people, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 20 people got banned for that. And that sets an interesting precedent because GGG haven't really been super clear what they ban for, what they don't ban for, to the point where, well, at least me personally, I think the worst thing is you sometimes as a regular player would get FOMO. You would feel like, should I be exploiting? No one's getting punished for any of this shit. Is what it felt like, and I think that's bad in my opinion. But Steel, how do you feel about the exploits and the bans around them?
Well, as you said, some clarity would be good. So I'm constantly asking myself, is this clever use of game mechanics like totally legit, or is it is it bannable? Like an example of this, which is I would say falls on the low end, like it's just a clever use of game mechanic, would be swapping your belt or weapon for rampage buffs, because you can sort of snapshot the buff. When you've got the buff, you snapshot back to your old gear. You go back to your old gear, and then you've got the rampage buff for the entirety of the map as long as you can keep it up, right? So I remember thinking, am I like snapshotting? Is this like intended? But obviously that one is on the low end, and then obviously you've got like, the Empyrean, going in and out of the circle, generating 700,000 item meme, all that kind of shit, right? Just recently, actually, I mean, there's been several exploits this league. One of which got fixed recently, was you could actually stack watchdog modifiers that weren't supposed to be stackable. This was only for a little bit, but apparently this generated quite a lot of... It was actually more... I reckon it was probably worse than the, Empyrean exploit in terms of the damage to the economy, because you could generate things like mirror shards and extremely valuable items doing this, using the Harby watchstone stuff and the ritual stuff. You could actually have, I think it was 20 rituals, the altars in a single map.
What the fuck?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That sounds unethical.
So it is unethical. When I heard about this, I stopped talking about it on stream because, like you said, right? I mean, we don't know what's safe to talk about anymore. So I just shut the fuck up. I was like, no, I'm not going to discuss this on stream.
Look at how hotfix it fast if you talk about it, bro. It's good.
You say that, I mean, they'll hotfix me pretty fast too, right?
Yeah, true.
That's good. That means their strategy is working. That means because what they're trying to do by banning MP and them for doing that is like send a message. Like, are you going to exploit? You're going to get banned. Which is honestly, I'm okay with it. Even if it is like a little bit long for what it was, that's good because now people are going to think twice before exploiting, dude.
Yeah, but how long is that going to last, right? Because there's people blowing up about people not getting banned for other exploits now. So people are kind of like you said, there needs to be a little bit of clarity. I think GGG know this as well. I think they said that on Reddit they were discussing internally how to define what is not okay, right? It's kind of hard though.
It is hard. I definitely think it's a very, very hard line to draw. Like, what if you just never talk to a Shabi, but you didn't change your mapping strategy? Is that a ban?
Right.
Shit.
That is maybe a 2 or a 3, right? Because that's kind of almost map hacking in a way. Kind of. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's like a 2 or a 3, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's pretty easy to tell what is an exploit that's going to shred the economy, or what's going to give you some ridiculous amount of experience. Like, if you're going to make a ton more money than everyone else because of something that's not intended, or you're going to get a ton more experience than everyone else because it's something that's not intended, it's like you can tell that's an exploit.
Well, on that note, the Heist League had a mechanic that generated the best XP in the game in solo self-found. And this was the See, you can almost say this is kind of similar. So you would go into the room, spawn the mobs, you do sort of like a circle, go back to the start of the instance and not leave. Then you go back in and they would all respawn. The only reason this is not straight up bannable, in my opinion, is because they stopped respawning after a while. They stopped giving XP. But for about 3 loops, you could basically get... It was 70 million XP at 98 or 99 or something, which is substantially better than you get. This is 3 times more, 4 times more XP than you would normally get anywhere else in the game in SSF. That's kind of a gray area, right?
I think if what we did there gave the same amount of loot as the ultimatums had, I think they would have... Then it would have been more of a problem. Since it was just XP, I don't think they cared.
Yeah, it just seemed like an oversight that you shouldn't have done, basically. See, I don't get maybe I'm too ethical then, because you're saying there might be some FOMO about not doing certain things. Pretty much every single time I see an exploit or something that's clever use of game mechanics or something that's distinctly advantageous that kind of shouldn't be, I just don't do it because it seems like cheese mechanics and it just seems against the spirit of the game you're playing. Like the heist example is a perfect one because I remember I think I had to be one of the first people to do that and discover it because none of us knew about it. And then I like ran a few heists and I got fat XP, respawned, killed again. I'm like, wait, hold on a second, this is stupid XP. And then like I did it for like a map or two, and I went, oh, well, that's just dumb. This is easily the best XP you could possibly do. I'm just gonna not do that because what the fuck's the point? I could just sit there non-stop chaining XP and then level up to 100 a bit faster and just hate the game for what it is all of a sudden because it's like diverting all of your resources to one thing that seems like it shouldn't be doable, just like it was an oversight, you know. So I feel there is typically sort of a line that you should be able to see where something's too good, something's clearly not intended to be too good, and something that's completely, you know, within the realms of okay, like the Rampage belt swap sort of thing. So I don't know. For the most part, I think there's enough of a line, but yeah, there could be a bit more clarity as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like-
think we all agree on that they definitely need to do more clarity. Like, I would say generally, like, I remember there's been some, like, there was stuff in bestiary that people were using, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk it. And then I remember the first one that I was like, this seems like it's going to get fixed, but everybody's using it. So I'm going to try to use it. I didn't get to it. I just never found it, but it was the, where you could move the fracture craft around. So you could like multi-mod merciless, fracture a prefix, then remove the craft.
Steel did that. I remember Steel doing that.
I did. Yeah. I remember thinking. I wish I got to say I was about to say, but you just ratted me out.
Oh
like,
yeah, I
2
want to
seconds before
expose you, dude.
Exposed.
No, but that FOMO, that
Yeah.
you know, the fear of missing out. I had to try it. I had to try it. And I remember thinking the entire time, is this ethical? And paper, you know, obviously by today's standards, I guess it's definitely not, right? I mean, I would not do that today, right? Not after the MP thing. So
I'm saying about
I definitely-
FOMO, like it's not about risking. It's about like just knowing that something is so far out of line compared to everything else that it's just you shouldn't do it because there's no point given how against the game it really is. It's just either an oversight or straight up unintended exploit. I don't see the point in doing that.
If you're going for rank 1, dude, and like the best way to get XP is like darkness farming and delve, and they still haven't fixed it, and it's still good, you just got to do it because you're trying to follow the path that's going to get you to the top the fastest, right? Because everyone else is. Yeah.
I was gonna bring up darkness farming. Darkness farming is probably what I would say like a 1 or a 2 because you got literally no loot and you're just burning all your sulfite for XP.
But it's in the game, and it's not like it was. Darkness is supposed to make it like you're not supposed to farm it, but like you can, right? And obviously
the darkness
like,
farming. Actually, yeah. No, you're right. I was thinking about drop pair farming. Yeah, darkness farming was super broken.
I remember Race QT just going back and forth between like a node over and over and over again for like hours on end.
You can still do that. People still do that. That's still in the game, yeah.
I wish they would address that early.
True.
Like I wish that they would just be like, you know what? When something like that happens, just message us very quickly, and we'll say yes or no. Like I think that would be a good thing for them to do because it isn't always very clear. So.
Well, you got a pretty direct line to the man himself these days, Ziz. I guess you got to just fucking take one for the team. And,
I'll just tweet them next time. Whenever I see Steelmage doing something, I'll be like, "Is this okay, Chris?"
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get banned by the sounds of it. Am I next? I think
any ban brings you ban. You just get back with more exposure and higher comeback resurgence.
That's it.
So embrace it.
It's calculated play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think overall, though, for the subject, like you guys are saying, like, oh well, they need to draw a line and all this. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think they need to be like more clear. I mean, I think what the stuff that people get banned for and the exploits people get messed up over, it's obviously bad, and you can tell straight away, like that, like nah, bro, unethical alarm going off, and you just don't do that shit. That's the TLDR of that shit, right? Like,
I kind of
he's
agree.
detecting it. Yeah, but the stuff that's like, okay, it's been in the game for like ages and everyone knows about it and it hasn't changed and it's like technically yeah, okay, you can just do that, right? but like the stuff that's like clearly unethical. You know, dude, Impy fucking knew, dude. He like you see his demeanor change in this video the second he's like, "Oh, GG deleted the post. Oh shit. Oh, I'm gonna stop doing this now. Like, let me just." It was like Gaby whenever like people got banned in China, right? And playing Diablo 3 for botting. He like instantly stopped botting, and he's like, "Oh, I'm clean now." And he put his task manager up, and his whole demeanor changed. Like, "Oh, I'm not cheating. I'm totally ethical now." It's like they know when they're fucking caught, bro, and they know when they're doing stuff that's not good, right? It's like you know.
Yeah,
For
I
the
mean,
most part, like I said, there's going to be something pretty obvious, and that's the stuff you just shouldn't do. So I don't know. Bans are what they are. You shouldn't be surprised that you get banned too often, and it's probably going to be pretty rare that someone's going to use an exploit or some mechanic that seems unintended, and then it's like unjustified. I'd say that's going to be immensely rare, and at this point, that's been the case, right? People are like, "Oh, I got banned unfairly" or some shit, and almost all of the time, there's way more to that story, and they got banned entirely justifiably.
yep, that is very true as well. No, it's I mean, like the only other time I remember a few other bans as well. It was like in Legacy with the League Stone exploit, where they would pull out the League Stones as the map was opening. So basically anything that's based almost like an item dupe, they seem to like ban pretty heavily for when they can. Because there was, what was the one this thing? There was, you could remove split tag or something.
Yeah, you could do the vendor recipe, and the vendor would return the item without the split tag.
Yeah, that definitely should have been banned for 100%.
Yeah, no, that obviously wasn't intended.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. But yeah, I think that's... Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for this topic? Or do we move on to next?
Fuck it. Next topic.
Alright. Next topic. There are streamers quitting Path of Exile. Did you guys all see the So Mad video?
No, I didn't watch it.
Quin,
I did.
Steel?
I did, yeah, I did.
Quin, did you say you did or didn't?
Yeah, I did. No, I did. I watched it. I seen it. I didn't watch it on stream. I did watch it though, because everyone's like, "Have you seen So Mad video? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?"
So yeah, Quin, how do you feel? Like, do you think? Are you
I
surprised?
don't want to be. I don't want to be toxic, dude. I mean, how do I feel? I mean, I'm a straight up guy. I'm a transparent guy. I mean, I'll be honest. It seemed like his takes were all kind of like, extremely one sided, very negatively charged. And to me, it looked like someone having a midlife crisis. Someone having a midlife crisis. And they're just complaining about everything, right? Like, it's kind of like, I've been in the same job for 10 years, haven't got promoted, I haven't got any, and they're just complaining, and like, this is just it. The whole world's getting worse. Everyone's fake. It's like, that's just not the way. No, there's fake people out there, and there's people out there who are just straight up trying to use you. And there are people who just like, that's true. But that's like, 20, 30% of people on Twitch. There's plenty of genuine, nice, like, dude, Steelmage, like, Mathil. I mean,
What the fuck?
No, but like, okay, no, without being toxic, like Steelmage, like that cunt has no intentions, or he's not got no, he's not like, at no point do I feel like, oh, this guy's just trying to like use me for clout. Like, no, it's like he's just a straight up nice guy, and I feel like he's not trying to grow. It's like there's streamers out there who are genuinely just wholesome, nice dudes who are just, out there and not all, so to label all streamers as like these two-faced fucking sociopaths that are just trying to like grow their own shit, it's just not true. And then to say that, Path of Exile is just getting objectively worse with every patch, it's just not true. There's aspects of the game which are changing. Maybe you don't like the direction of it, but it's like, I mean, dude, I don't know. From what I got from watching his video, it looks like someone having a midlife crisis, because, and then they're just mad at the world, and they're just like, just whatever, changing reality to fit their kind of narrative, right? At the end of the day, which is, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The general gist, so it wasn't just like, I'm done streaming, I gave it a shot, and I'm moving away. It was like the whole
Path of
world
Exile was literally getting. It was like Path of Exile is getting the worse and trash, and compared to how it used to be. And every year it gets worse, and the game's going to complete shit. And
well, I mean,
all streamers are basically
he was very
two-faced.
unhappy with like the direction of the game for how he enjoyed playing it.
I think that sounds like Burnout to me, because I can understand like that similar sort of feeling that he might have, like after playing a certain league a lot, or just, you know, because I play nonstop all the time. I haven't had a break from PoE for 8 years or some shit, and sometimes it feels as though everything's a bit worse, and it's most of the time because I might just be a bit burnt out. That's why it feels that way. It's not usually because the game has gotten any worse, because yeah, let's be honest, it hasn't. There's been just different issues in all kinds of leagues and shit. There's usually some sort of technical issues, usually some sort of bug and stuff like that. But for the most part, the game's just been giving us more and more of what we want, and for the most part, it's good. Like, I don't see that as an issue. It's just you might be done with it because you've played it for so long, and it didn't bring enough freshness in the current league or some shit, or it didn't. Like, basically what this league is, and I think the reason there might be some sort of burnout and streamers quitting, people quitting and all that, is everyone getting off of the high that was last league. Last league was Ritual. There was, you know, a whole bunch of extra content through the end game. The mechanic itself was pretty good. And then on top of that, you had Harvest reintroduced as a really powerful crafting system. And then this is the detox of that league, from that league. And that's why everyone's just like, oh, fuck, shit, Path of Exile sucks again. Or I'm burnt out. I don't think it's as fun anymore. It's just a detox. It's just, you know, you didn't get another level of huge content in this league. It was just some reworks here or there, some good stuff happened, some, you know, less good stuff happened, but for the most part, the game is still kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, I've played since desync was a thing, so I mean, just everything feels amazing compared to back then. So it's like, when people say it was better back in the day, I'm like, oh, do you remember, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my take as well. Is the boomer take, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think Quin tried PoE, and I remember him talking about old PoE, and he said it was dog shit. But I played that dog shit. I still played that dog shit.
Yep.
I played on 250 ping because there was no OC server. I played the worst version of PoE, and I still like enjoyed it. So, but I mean, I don't know. That's definitely a.
Well, I mean, as like whenever like they were talking about, you know, Sumer was talking about how good PoE used to be and how trash it is now. It was the exact same thing, right? Like the desync macro every 5 seconds. I
still got it, dude.
What you still love it? It was so bad. That game was so dog shit, bro. I remember coming on and playing PoE like 2 times at separate occasions, thinking, "Wow, how could anyone play this trash? Literally unplayable." Like the Piranhas mogs, but what was going on in the Piranhas League? Do you guys remember that league?
Yeah, that was one of the first
awful
ones that had real bad technical issues.
Yeah,
like,
it was very
That's
rough.
when I installed my logout macro. That's when I installed my logout macro, dude, because I had a crash death, and I stayed in the game, dude. And my friends on, I think it was Mumble or something, they were screaming like, "You're in the game still!" And I'm like, "Am I out? Am I out?" And I fucking died. I died to Essence Train. There's a unique mob that does Essence Train.
Yep.
So I was just dying to this DJ.
Oh
dude.
no!
So I installed a logout macro. I was like, "I'm done. I'm give me the macro. Give me the macro."
I like a similar thing in Ferendis where you remember the like magma orb things. I remember I saw like 30 magma orbs heading towards me, and my FPS went to like 1. I just see this like red wall coming towards me. I'm like, oh, I'm fucking dead. And I died. I was like, great. But yeah, no, I like still definitely feel like it's gotten only better with time. Obviously, there's like just loads of issues every patch. But yeah, Steel, are you surprised people are burning out?
No, I mean, we played PoE way too much. Let's be honest here. Like, I don't think it's normal to have this many hours in a game. I don't know how many hours everyone in like chat, like watching and stuff has, but we did clock a lot of hours in this game, right? So it's totally normal. Especially streamers as well. I mean, like we do give a, I don't know if false representation's right word. We play the game more than the normal player, like a lot more, like way more. Like, it's very normal to play PoE for like a couple weeks, a month, and then bail, and that's totally normal. That's like part of the GGG cycle, right? That's why we have the 3-month leagues as well. It's totally normal to like play the game, get bored, come back, right? It's totally normal. So yeah, no, I think it's pretty normal.
That's a fair point. this like unfair representation of I should be enjoying this game 3 months out of every 3 months.
Yeah.
And if it slows down at any point, then game sucks or I'm burning out. Because for us, it's like, well, you guys, typically jump into some other games as well a bit, but for me in particular, I'm doing it 90 days out of 90 days, and some people might be like, I'm not feeling that with PoE. Maybe it's not, worth doing next league because I'm burning out or some shit. But it is. You're not supposed to enjoy it that way. Like enjoying it for a couple of weeks and then leaving and coming back when the next new hot thing. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Enjoying it for a month or for a month and a half and doing as much as you want and then coming back later. Perfectly normal. Like you're not supposed to play that much.
I'm curious about that. Like you do literally 90 out of 90 days PoE pretty much. Are we going to start seeing more Binding of Isaac from Mathil? Like how do you feel? Like are you starting to get like a little bit like the last 2 weeks are dragging on a little bit, or are you just like, yeah, no, give me more PoE, Chris?
For the most part, I was still happy with like plenty of PoE, but I saw Quin play Isaac and I thought it looked pretty fun. And I wanted to just see if I was going to do any better personally. And then, I got a little bit hooked onto it as well. So it was just a nice little side project. And likewise, the league before, I think WoW came out, and that's when I thought I'd give it a shot finally so I could play with my childhood friend Quin69, who decided him. So it went a bit downhill, but I had my little fun in that game. Anyway, still had fun despite the troubles. And yeah, I think I'm more open to it these days. So if something's popping up, I will definitely play it in the last month or a few weeks or so. I feel like more comfortable doing it now, whereas before it was a little bit like I still had my own internal pressure saying people want you to do PoE and you don't really want to disappoint them, that sort of thing. On top of that, my wrist has felt a bit shitty. My flasking wrist has felt a bit shitty in the past few months. So taking a bit of time off PoE and doing other things isn't the worst. So that also pushed me into it.
Yeah, PoE definitely doesn't help much on hand issues for sure.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize it's not really sustainable. I think I think I'm gonna
Lord
get
Fluffy is getting surgery, dude. Lord Fluffy's getting literal surgery, and on his arm, and it's completely messed up, and it's all fucked up from gaming too much.
Wow.
He's like what, 33 or something, 34.
Jeez.
So, I mean, that could be the future we're heading towards, boys.
Oh no.
I mean, I could get a cortisone injection at any point, according to my physio. So that's already sounds pretty serious, but it's not at that point. I can still take it a bit easier and do some rehab and all that sort of shit. And my climbing isn't really affected by it at the moment either. Like that, my hand is still just as strong and it's still doing everything fine. But if I sit in certain positions and mismanage how I'm playing the PoE, I think that's when it gets bad. So it's still kind of up to myself, I think.
I wasn't planning on
Do you guys
having
think
this is a topic, but do you guys think they should just let people use fast macro?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, I wouldn't.
I think they already do.
Why not?
They already do. I already asked them at the conference, and they're like, yeah, whatever. Like they don't say it, but they just kind of like shrug their shoulders and like, I was like, what do you think about like fucking literally 50% of my chat using flash macros and like all of them like they're just like, yeah.
I still think they would ban a streamer for it.
If it's still public knowledge, yeah, but it's like they're not hunting people down is the point. You'll probably get away with it more often than not. But yeah, it's not something they want to encourage.
Yeah.
The flash system's fucked. It's completely fucked.
It's really bad.
It's the worst. One of the worst systems in the game. Is trash. 100%. Like if they do not fix it in PoE2, like what the hell is GGG doing? It needs a complete rework.
Like I definitely, I used to be very against like stuff like fast macro. Now I'm like, yeah, just let people use it. I wouldn't use it, especially not on hardcore, because it is a little bit more important. Like not maybe pressing all your flash, but they definitely should just let people use it.
It's inefficient. Like if you it's like if you're flash macro leveling, flash session on boxing or whatever, it's like inefficient. But like what it's. I think the only other ones are the people who have automatic Pathfinder flask macro set up, so it's just like perfect uptime of every flask. Zero, that shit.
There is a build now. Using the new boots, you basically flick your auras on and off, And I was just thinking that's the perfect use case for like a macro like that. You got to flick your auras on. I think it's 4 auras every 15 seconds. So it's 4 additional binds that you have to constantly press, right? It's kind of like flasks. So that's the kind of
I
perfect
haven't
use
seen
case.
this. This sounds
but, yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's the March of the Legion, but it's like this new meta build coming out.
Is that why
find your second half
no one's
power,
actually
right?
playing it that way.
Is that why I've been enchanting so many Martial Legion?
Probably, yeah. No, it's popping off.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't want to play it because I would die, right? But I mean, it's just kind of. I guess it's kind of like Warcries. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you think they should let people use fast macro still?
I remember there was a trailer where I think they showed the same bind on a flask at one point or something, and I remember thinking to myself, is this like a teaser? Like, are we gonna be able to bind? Are we gonna have like the flexibility to bind like one button to multiple flasks? Obviously, that wasn't the case, but it would be
China
nice
have it.
to have that control.
That would
Yeah,
be
China
nice.
Clan has it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they clearly they thought it was a problem and they dealt with it, right? I mean, it's scuffed mandate fix, but
Yeah. No, I think they should at this point. Pretty much final topic is just
Well, you guys didn't wait. So you didn't go on okay? You're talking about the Somad video. We didn't touch on the issue the take of all streamers having blue hair, like neon, like changing smart lights in the background with a dildo microphone and all that, and everyone's just fake and trying to use everyone as stepping
That's good.
stones. Is
So
that
is that
true?
the take?
Like, Mathil, you think that's true? Like, what's
That was
basically?
the
I'm
take,
being a
right?
little bit hyperbolic. Yeah, I'm being, but no, that was based. Those are like an actual quote. I'm pretty sure.
Well, was that for Path of Exile or like Twitch?
Twitch is worse, and it's getting way worse, and because everyone's just fake now, and just everyone using everyone as stepping
that is
stones.
very hyperbolic, but I do think
It
there is a lot of people wanting to use other people for clout and to grow and stuff like that. I don't think we have much of that in the PoE category, but it's definitely a very big thing on Twitch. I think, yeah. Like I think that is one thing that's very, very isolating for a lot of streamers, is that you don't know who wants to actually be your friend, hang out and do stuff on stream, or who would exclusively want to do things on stream. And if you did lose viewers, would they still be your friend? So I think that can be...
So you're saying it's true? That's true. You're saying everyone on Twitch is like that. You're saying it's true then?
No, I don't think everyone, but I think there's definitely a lot of it on Twitch. Yeah, I think that's a very isolating part of being a streamer, and I think it makes a
See,
lot of streamers second guess friendships.
I've never even thought about it that way. Like the whole, clout chasing, second guessing friendship thing. I've always taken everyone at face value. If anyone wants to talk to me for some reason, it's because they just wanted to for that reason, or because they've liked my content, or whatever the fuck it is. I've never looked at it from that perspective. But at the same time, I also don't engage that much with people on Twitch. I just do my own thing because I think it's just, I don't know, easier that way, and like to stay in my own little bubble most of the time. So when I see people complaining about that, like I see plenty of the big streamers, especially more of the IRL type section people. Yeah, when they complain about that, I'm like, does that really happen that much, or are you just kind of like creating that in your own mind? More so, just like everyone's out to get me and everyone's trying to use me and that sort of shit.
Sure,
It
but
seems-
I
it seems
also
to-
do think you're a little lucky there being in the PoE category as well. I think it is very different here, because I've personally experienced that a little bit with things like TwitchCon. I remember there were some streamers I was really, really excited to meet at TwitchCon when I had like 700, 800 viewers, and they wouldn't even say hi. They were like, oh, who are you? Oh, okay. And then after I'd hit like 10k subs and stuff, 2 of those same streamers were like, are you Zizaran? Dude, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And I was like, you cunt, you didn't say fucking, like, you wouldn't even talk to me 2 years ago. Fucking kidding me right now? So like, that shit definitely does happen.
They just know who you are more at that point, and got to know what you do and why you exist and stuff. Not just your sub count. I don't know.
It was very, very different, I think. But I think PoE category is very nice in that way. Whenever like there's PoE meetups or TwitchCon Europe and shit like that, TwitchCon NA, everybody's just hanging out regardless of how big they are in the PoE category. Like you see everybody, like from people that are just starting out streaming PoE with 5 or 10 viewers to everyone. So I think that is like pretty nice.
Yeah, I
Well, I'm
remember
not
when I
gonna-
started streaming. Yeah,
Go
sorry. I remember when I started streaming, right? And in terms of Twitch, I was like, I mean, I didn't stream at all, right? So I was just starting. And like pretty much instantly, not only did Ziz, like he helped me, you know, still use the badges that you commissioned to this day. I should really like get more because they only go up to 1 year. But yeah, anyway, I should really, anyway. But Ziz like really like helped me a lot. And even like just starting out, we didn't really know each other like in terms of like we'd never met or anything. But Ziz literally invited me to his house to like stream PoE as part of like the whole League Start event back then, which is just crazy, like to me.
I think he just saw your potential and wanted to get in on the ground floor to leech your future clout.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say
um,
he's using you for content still. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, you reckon this is like the
What do you
case
think of his
example?
podcast right now?
The bleed neon hair, you know.
Are you kidding me? Ruthless businessman Zizaran? He's
You know, my
he's
favorite
as fake as it gets.
my favorite thing about having Steel at my house was just sitting behind him and scaring the shit out of him. That was great.
What do you mean?
So when he was staying in my apartment, like he had his back to the door and he was gaming PoE, right? Loud music and shit. So I would just sneak in behind him, sit behind him on the bench, like wave to his camera, and chat would start spamming Monka S. And then Steel would turn around and be like, have like a little jump. And I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, that is.
And the worst part is, like, he obviously knew his own apartment better than me, right? So whenever I would sneak up to him, he could hear it. He could hear me creaking or whatever.
Yeah.
So he could sneak up to me, but I couldn't really, you know. I think I got him once.
Yeah.
I think I got him once.
You got me one very bad, yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
That was your favorite thing? That was better than the gay sex?
Not supposed to leak everything, Mathil.
Mate, what leak? That's
God.
public knowledge, motherfucker. I'm just asking a question that everyone wanted to
It was good.
have some clarity on.
It was good. But yeah,
Good.
no, I mean, I think we are pretty blessed here in the PoE category. There's very, very little streamer dramas too in the category. I feel like I very rarely hear like beef between streamers. It's like, you know, Quin versus Rise QT and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I didn't talk to that guy at ExileCon because he just didn't have enough viewers. Fuck that guy. Like, irrelevant, dude. Am I right, guys?
You sure it wasn't
Irrelevant.
just 'cause you couldn't fucking talk on the same level? You know, you had to wait.
Shut the fuck. I literally went out of my
I had that problem.
with him. Okay, well, I kneeled, like I was like fucking bending my knees, and I told him to stand on his tippy toes for the memes. And now he literally fucking links the picture every other day. It's so.
Yeah, I'm
cringe.
not surprised. I couldn't believe you were taking that photo.
I took that photo.
was standing there and I'm watching. I'm like, Quin, this is such a bad idea. You're gonna get derailed for this forever.
Yeah.
It was
Regrets.
so
Good
good.
regrets.
I was so happy I took that photo. Oh,
You remember saying that, right? You remember
oh
me saying,
yeah,
like,
I was
you
the one who
standing
said
tippy
that. I
toes?
was like, Rise and Octavian,
Oh, yeah,
stand
no.
on your toes. It'll look even better.
Yeah, and I was like intentionally buckling my legs, but facing towards the camera so you couldn't really see. So
Yeah.
it just looks exaggerated. And now they're just saying it's real, dude. Oh, yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
We can say it all
Bro.
we want right here, but yeah, that's the truth. It was they stood up real high. You kind of buckled your knees and you wanted to exaggerate the meme, but that doesn't matter. You're still gonna get shit on like
Yeah.
as though it's true on your stream all day every day.
Yeah. Well, that was good. Rice is saying Azza took the photo. I thought I did. Did we take multiple photos?
Maybe you took one for your own personal collection. I don't know, man.
Yeah, maybe I have one for later. I don't even know now. Yeah. The only other topic to talk about is I would love to talk about the PoE performance and texture streaming, because that's probably the most surprising thing to me. Why is this happening? And for so long, like the amount of people that have like invisible monsters, and like I've seen people dying or almost dying, and it's rough. It's really, really bad.
I took a fat invisible Cirrus beam the other day. It was not the best. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. Weren't we supposed to have like some sort of statement last week, but didn't?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we did. No, we did apparently. You know that tiny little like Chris Wilson post, like, there was a bug. That was it.
That was it, you reckon?
That was it. No, that Beck said that was it.
What?
That's what that was it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what Chris Wilson post? I'm not sure I saw that.
It was just this tiny little thing saying, "We found a bug, by the way." And that's it. Like I was kind of like pause champing after that. I was like, "Oh, cool." So they're gonna like try to fix it a bit and then post the thing. But apparently that was the thing. That was it. So.
Well, no, yeah, it wasn't. So that's
I don't know. To
still
me,
an issue.
To me, it feels like they're beta testing, like every league, they're beta testing some new PoE mechanic, and they're using it as this like free QA, right? Like they're just like, all right, fuck it, let's just test the texture streaming thing out on all the actual people playing our game right now, so that way we can have it all working for when PoE 2 comes out, and then let's just add this other shit in which breaks the game, so we can test this out for PoE 2, and they're just using it as like a testing ground, and we're basically just free employees at GGG, just getting fucked in the ass by invisible beams, right? Just so they can, perfect their technology, right? That's what it feels like anyway, because it seems like there's always some new issue that is put into the game every league consistently when it comes to performance. Like it's like, and it's all because like, oh yeah, we're getting this ready for PoE 2, like this new processing technology, like what is that shit that was constantly crashed the game, and then they added some shit in which made the game lock up every 2 seconds and like lag, and then delirium fog, and like, oh, it's PoE 2 fog, boys. We got the new fog, and it's like, okay, I don't know. And it seems like every time they do that, it's like the game gets like performance-wise worse and more unstable. Which that's like how I don't know why or how they keep doing that consistently. Like, has there been a league like in the next, and like I don't know, since the big Conquest of the Atlas thing that hasn't had some sort of performance issue?
Was Ritual okay? What's the Ritual performance like?
I'm pretty sure Ritual was okay on performance, but that it was.
There's still some frame issues from.
I remember lagging heaps.
Yeah.
Crashing heaps.
There you go.
I can't remember, to be honest. I remember there were loads.
I
of
did
launch
crash
issues.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it crashed a lot. But like, I think FPS was fine for me.
Oh, Voldo Hobbies were a mega lol. That's right. Yeah, shit.
I think Quin might be right though. Like they're just trying to prep everything for PoE 2, because at this point, you have to imagine they can see that PoE is not going to be this, game that just jumps in popularity all of a sudden, right? It's going to have its niche, and it's slowly growing still, and it's working its way up, but it is still the main current name in this genre. Whereas if you then release the next big thing, PoE 2, that works perfectly and has all this shiny new bells and whistles, it might actually take it up a notch. So maybe they're just prepping for all of that. Because we got to still remember, like a Diablo 4 or Diablo 3 or whatever is still like 100 times bigger in name, regardless of their current history or anything. And we're still just nothing by comparison. And it needs this huge push to become a household name. So maybe that's how they're banking on it.
So we're just hoping PoE 2 will fix everything?
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's going to be so many people who try PoE 2 for the first time. Like right now they hear like, new league, like Asmon's talking about PoE, and like all the normies are like, oh, PoE, I heard that's okay, but yeah, fuck that, it's too complicated, whatever. PoE, they hear it, all the normies are talking about it, but they're like, I don't want to try it. But I feel like PoE 2, the rebranding, and if they optimize it right, I think a lot of people are going to hop on and try it out for the first time. So they probably they don't want to miss the mark. Like, I hope we don't get like some shit where the fucking servers are destroyed and the game's crashing. I hope it's like they actually do optimize it. Like, whatever. I guess just test, or let us be the beta testers for the texture streamers, or whatever you need to do, get us to do. So then at least PoE 2 will fix everything, So actually be POG.
I hope this doesn't get quoted in a few years when PoE 2 is releasing, but like, can you imagine that PoE 2 launches and everything crashes because they hadn't tested it at large scale enough how to change from fusings like sockets on gear to having no sockets, and just like it just like either deletes everybody's gear or it just doesn't work. I'm so scared of that.
Just a shit of it, right?
Sure,
there'll be a beta.
Yeah, I'm just worried about for standard is gone. Oh.
What was that, Mathil? I didn't hear.
said, I'm just worried about my MTX loading in seamlessly. You know, the transition from QE1 to 2. That's all that really matters. You know, if you ask me, my fucking shiny hats and capes and glowing fucking razor footprints and all that.
Path of Fashion. I mean,
I
there
mean-
there is like, especially for people like Steelmage, like PoE 2 is going to be huge because like, are binding orbs even going to exist?
Hopefully not.
So that's
Wait,
good.
You'll find another way, mate.
I'll just play SSF. I'll never let anyone touch my gear again. It's fine.
That was so good. Yeah, Steel, you've had a lot of texture issues as well, right?
Oh, dude, I was gonna say, like, so you know how we did this hardcore trade league push thing where we sort of like said, hey, come play hardcore trade, you know, it'll be fun, yada 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 yada. Then texture streaming happened, right? So there's a bunch of people who are like, how did I die? And then they link me some shit, right? And there's just like invisible mobs, like there's this invisible bears, invisible barren mines, invisible this, invisible mazes, invisible this, invisible that. And it feels so bad every time I see someone die to textures, dude.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just painful. There's blood on you know, there's blood on GG's hand a bit here. They've killed a lot of hardcore characters this league just
sure.
in textures.
That is
Just
part of the
really
risk, though.
It's not even just like invisible shit or people dying to stuff. It's like literally just the system feels shit because whenever you zone into a new map or something, it'll take like the load screen goes away pretty quick sometimes, but then there's 5 to 10 seconds of everything just being pure potato. And it's like this doesn't feel good at all. I don't care if it's like technically working better or something, but
Yeah.
the reload of that, like loading into the game, loading into a new zone just to buy fusings or some shit. The entire screen is pixelated for a long time.
That's pretty
Like
bad.
how is that the right way forward? It can't be. There's got to be some.
I went to a Legion.
fix.
It took like 20 seconds to load, like the going into the 4-way or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but after 20 seconds of finally getting in, the entire map was just purple boxes.
Yep.
Just like the ground was purple boxes.
Yeah.
My interface was like weird black square things, and I was like, "What the hell are they doing in their game?
Yeah.
Like what?
No, for
Like,
sure.
what is even going on here?"
It's so
like-
bad.
Varlord Path of Exile with this texture streaming. Why can't we just fucking disable it until they fix it? You know, like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there must be like
Yeah.
there must be some internal struggle or something because like I don't know what's going on. Like it's crazy. how
Legion
bad
was
it
the
is right
worst for
now.
me as well. And like, it was so annoying because the first two resets were fine. And then suddenly everything's invisible. I'm like, it worked the first two. Why is it getting worse now that it's already loaded in? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Mad was right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, this was after the patch, by the way. Just so chat's aware, like what Quin's talking about. This is after that like bug patch thing as
Yep.
well. So it's
Yeah.
not fixed or anything yet.
Yeah, hopefully they can either give us a way to disable something, like, or just fix it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're working on it. It's not like they want their game to look bad. So
God, no, it's horrible, right?
yeah,
They're sponsoring streamers, and what we get to see, they're sponsoring streamers to showcase like what boxes, like fuzzy boxes. You know, it's like
Yeah.
what's going on.
you know, and another thing that I'm surprised that they haven't talked about or made a post about. I don't know if you guys are surprised, but Harvest. That was not what I was expecting. I was not expecting to. Obviously, empty fields are no longer a thing, but I was not expecting like 4 reforges. 4. That was not what I
No.
was expecting.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the empty fields thing, whatever, a bit overblown as well. Like you saw one after fucking a bunch of fucking harvest, right? So yeah, okay, so that happens randomly. Go fucking be a bit sad about it, but it shouldn't be the biggest deal. The fact that yeah, it's a lot more neutered than we kind of expected it to be is pretty bad. But at the same time, I think it still has its niche. I think it's still completely fine in its right, but it's definitely not what it once was, and definitely can't expect it to be filling that same sort of crafting gap. It still has its powerful uses, and I'm still okay with it, I think. I do think there could be a few buffs, though, because like the augments and stuff, they currently exist, apparently. Like, chances are you're not going to fucking see them. So why do they exist then? Either take them out or put them back in at a sort of rate that is
Just remove
reasonable.
mirrors. Remove mirrors as well while you're at it, because they technically exist, but you never see them drop. Just why not get
How
rid of
about three?
headhunters as well? That's like, dude, when the thing is, you can get them. They do exist. It's like, I mean, I think a harvest craft is more common than a mirror. So to say to just take them, I mean, I don't know. That means if you're going to use that logic method, you should then extrapolate and say, well, they should just delete mirrors as well. But mirrors are cool, and there is like a use case for them. It's extremely rare, and it's but it's just one of those
The
things
problem with
where
that is
they
that
want.
harvest is like a specific thing, a specific mechanic you're interacting with in a small subset of the game. And you're then stacking like a piece of RNG on a piece of RNG on a piece of RNG. Whereas the mirror thing, you play the game and it could just happen anywhere. The headhunter thing at this point, you play the game, it can happen anywhere, or you can target it a bit harder if you go in certain areas. So, like,
It's
you
not
are.
intended for you to get augments.
Okay, so
It's not intended for you to get like mirrors constantly, right?
no, but I see a little bit of what you're saying, but I don't feel it's a fair comparison of Harvest to Mirror. I think Harvest is better to compare to an Eternal Orb, because in my opinion, what Harvest does is it makes you feel stupid as fuck for crafting with not using Harvest, because you know that it's not mirror rarity. It's not mirror rarity. You can buy them for somewhere like 2 to 6 exalts on the augments and stuff like that. And the fact that they're this rare, it's the same as if remove Eternal, because you feel stupid by not crafting of them. That's why I wouldn't actually mind that much if it was entirely removed, but the fact that it does exist and you're not going to find one yourself just makes you feel dumb for not using it. That's the problem I have with it.
But are you going to get them on
it
solo
just takes
farm?
a bit of time.
Oh no, but the game isn't
If
balanced
you
around
can't
solo
consistently
self-farm.
farm it, right? If you can't consistently farm it, that's irrelevant. If you can trade it for 2 to 6x, that's cheap. Then you can buy it. Like, I guess I'm kind of triggered at all the guys who are saying, oh, Harvest, they need a buff Harvest. And then you ask the same guys who are saying they need a buff Harvest, like, do they think Harvest is good? Oh, like, oh yeah, what's the best crafting mechanic in the game? Like, it's insanely overpowered. It's like, what? What are you even saying? So you're saying it's the best lead mechanic and it's the most powerful, but it needs to be buffed? And it's just like massive question mark. Like, what kind of logic are you using to come to that point?
It's really powerful when you get the things that you want. But I mean,
you can't rely on it. It's like
I know
Life
Life of League and I haven't found an augment.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? It's like, would you base your entire strategy around this craft then? If you're an SSF, like, so would you make a build that like relies heavily on getting multiple of the same cluster jewel? Like, you're not going to do that, right? In SSF, it's just be a stupid play, just like making your whole strategy like, oh, let me get this augment and harvest. Now, if you're going to play Trade League, then just buy the fucking thing, right? I still think it should be itemizable. Like, you should be able to itemize the crafts, and trade them like that. But it's like I don't understand all the complaints. Makes literally no sense.
Well, for me, like you said, they should itemize the super rare things. It's kind of I can see I've had this discussion a lot. I can see. I think there's a reason why they don't. Something about I can't remember, but it would be nice if it was a little more less obtuse to interact with, like the augments and stuff. It's kind of sketchy on hardcore. Put it this way, I had this experience where someone couldn't speak English, but they were supposedly selling an augment chaos, but that was the only one in hardcore trade for like a day or two. So I was like, do I give him my really expensive item to augment? And I did it, and he said, oh, and I was like, and then he's like, sorry, misunderstood, and just traded me the item back. And I'm like, did he fucking like, what? Did he do anything? Because I was like freaking out. But that's the thing, you have to take these risks because these things are so rare. And I shouldn't have done it, but like I couldn't ask him for collateral. He couldn't speak English properly, right? So it was, I don't know. I don't like that. That's fucked, right? That's a problem. And they said this was a problem, and they did nothing to address it other than make it super rare. So yeah. So the itemizing of the crafts, the storing of the crafts, still kind of a problem. There was one more thing. Tier 4 beasts in particular, they didn't. I don't remember them saying they were going to make them super rare, and they're like really. I don't know if any of you have found a Tier 4 beast yet. One, right?
What power is that? Like what power is it? Like 6 things something?
No, that's either fracture, synthesize, or augment influence.
Yeah. Now those
Augmented
beasts are
ones.
required. Yeah. Well, no, it's not augment. It's it's like reforge, non-add, add.
You can get
Yeah, it is
augmented
aug,
ones.
but it's not guaranteed. This is.
No, okay, right.
It's one craft.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, those beasts is like super rare. Like people complain about Trial Master, like those tier 4 beasts. I've got the mature Watchstone. I've got the passives. I'm farming a lot of Haywalk. I love Atoll. Atoll's my home. Still haven't found a tier 4 beast. Obviously, if I brute forced it more, I would find it eventually. But it just feels like they fucked it a bit. Like the numbers are a bit off, in my opinion. I agree. It's okay for it to be rare. I agree with the Quin take. After heavy discussion, people have told me about this take that just because it's rare doesn't mean they should remove it. It's okay for these really powerful things to exist and you not to have access to them necessarily. That it's like more of the special thing. I'm okay with that. It's kind of like a Conk Exalt. I'm like shifting my mentality of an augment being something that you want or need to like, and it's more like a Conk Exalt. It's like it's pretty freaking rare thing, right? But the tier 4 beast thing, I do think that the numbers are off. I don't know. I've played a fucking lot of PoE and I've farmed for this thing.
Yeah.
Doing designer and I still
But
haven't had a tier 4.
So do you think Harvest is OP currently in its current form?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like
No,
so how could you possibly ever come to the conclusion that they need to make it better?
Hey,
When are you ever going to make a decision on your map device? Yeah, but I'm saying he's saying buff it, right? Would that not, if you get tier 4 beasts more often, are you not buffing?
I think
You are
buffing,
I
yeah.
think it's
It's
OP
like-
for advanced players. It's not for casual players right now. It's probably for 90% of the player base. It probably isn't. And I can agree with the take that augments and stuff can be rare, but I would like that the fields that we're getting right now, instead of having 4 or 5, pretty much if they just went back to full fields, which you weren't 100% sure with what I meant with.
Give us the automated back. Give us the automated back. I want to be able to edit the items again.
Look, Quin, look. I would be more okay with them nerfing the tier 4 seed effects and actually encountering the fucking things, right? Because that's annoying.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
okay.
It's bad, man.
That's a
It's so
change.
bad.
It
don't
was
forget-
neutral. It's
And don't forget, that's how you access Oshabi, the endgame boss. You have to find these tier 4 seeds. So you understand how rare that is, right? To actually even get Oshabi.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
So-
keeping it the same or changing it so it's neutral or nerfing it. That's the only thing they can do. Or they can either it obviously needs to be fucking nerfed, like or deleted, or they could modify it, right? But buffing it is just it makes no logical sense whatsoever. Like, oh, the strongest fucking League mechanic in the game. It needs to be buffed. We
I
need
mean,
full
even-
fields. We
even
need fucking
more-
2 more T4 beasts. You know, like
Even
no,
more
dude.
reforges would feel so good for people that are maybe like avoiding trading and don't really fully understand like making their own items, but at least they're like clicking, oh, life reforge. I'll life reforge until this gets good.
So I'm not necessarily as like into the whole buffing the reforges thing, because the reforges have a lot of use even as is. The fact of the matter is you're not encountering these tier 4 seeds reasonably. So and it just feels bad. I get what Quin's saying, it's overpowered, but it just feels so bad to never see these things. And maybe I'm just unlucky, right? Maybe I'm just having a particularly bad luck with this one thing. Totally reasonable. Like I've heard Mathil not have an all for like half a year or something, and meanwhile I'm getting alls like multiple times. So it's maybe it's just my personal experience, which is totally fine, right? I'm just getting unlucky, but it still feels bad. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like the numbers might be off. I'm not sure.
Sure. I mean, also something that feels, hopefully everybody agrees with this, but the whole like either having to carry my item with me and scouring it to use the normal like alchemy reforge thing, that's annoying as hell, and that I can't scour an item in my stash. I hate that so much. Whole new levels of hatred for that.
That's what I was going to say. Something like that. If they just made it so you could scour from your stash, right? That's technically a buff. Like, are you against that as a buff because that's technically
Quality of life.
buffing harvest?
That's
Yeah.
QL. I'm
Yeah,
fine
but
with
that's a
QL.
buff
I mean,
still.
you know,
That's making
slippery
that's
slope,
making the
though.
mechanic in the system better. So are you against like any sort of
No,
harvest
I did
being
no.
better?
I'm against people asking the harvest to be buffed when it's already overpowered. It's cringe. right?
Well,
Like,
that's.
I'm okay with harvest
thinking-
changes, quality of life buffs, sweet ass, dude. Like, why not? Quality of life. I mean, but at what point do you stop, right? You know, they're gonna add in just automatic item pickups next, like automatic material pickups. So what are we going to like all shards get auto picked up by a pet? Like what are we talking here? It's a slippery slope,
That's
Mathil.
gone so off the deep end for that part, though. We're all against that, and we all know that that's what quality of life in general can lead to. This isn't what we're talking about for the fucking harvest thing. And I'm like trying to equate him wanting to see tier 4 beasts a bit more often as sort of still a quality of life type thing. Because they're not
they could
that
nerf it in other ways. If you remove some other things and add that in, but like at any point where harvest gets buffed when it's already insanely like you're just never picking anything else in your atlas except harvest for like one of those nodes. Just say it needs to be buffed. It's just ludicrous. I mean, I don't know. And to be fair, Reddit loves harvest so much as well.
I'll give you an example, right? They could change the tier. You know how there's a Atlas passive, right, to encounter tier 4 beasts. They could buff that node by making it encounter more tier 4 beasts, but take away some of the other seeds, like take away some of the. I don't know. They could balance it that way. It just feels bad to not see this damn thing that I'm trying to get this, for like weeks now, and I'm spending I'm doing the 12 Zizaran bench. I got the Watchstone. I'm mapping a lot, level 99, all that shit, and I still haven't found this bloody thing. It's a bit annoying.
I'm always more in favor of nerfing things slightly. Like I would say, like Breach has been very, very heavily nerfed since its inception, right? It's a completely different mechanic now. Breach when it came out was just shitting out stuff, right? And it doesn't feel that bad because it's been nerfed slowly. It's sort of more like it's being phased out. And I think it's just a very, very insane change because they actually nerfed more than they said they were going to in the manifesto. Like they added more tags to several items. Like when they first showed the manifesto, I was like, okay, this will still work, and that craft will still work. Well, no, they didn't because they added more tags, right? So that got nerfed too. And at least it feels incredibly bad whenever you're doing like a blue harvest lot. And you're just getting a few reforges, but when you're fighting, it's like, oh, cool, I just killed 6 Blister Lords, but I didn't get a single reforge influence. That feels terrible. And the fact is that I play so fucking much, and when it feels bad for me, I'm like, this probably doesn't feel better if you're only playing 100 hours this league, or only 50 hours this league. Because I play somewhere between 600 and 1,000. So,
pandering.
No, not really, so because I was very for these nerfs. I'm very.
It's OP
that
for
is
the
not
in-game,
pandering
guys,
because
I was
so for these nerfs. They just did more. They did more than they said.
I want to talk more, dude.
They did way more than they said they were going to nerf.
Oh shit!
I just want to say right now, I think all the problems to do with PoE to do with harvest. This harvest discussion has triggered the shit out of chat. It's triggered the shit out of Quin. I think Zizaran getting a bit triggered. I don't know. This harvest is just fucking so controversial, dude. It just triggers everybody.
They made a mistake putting it in. Chris should have seen it. He saw the writing on the wall, but he should have done more about it before putting it in. There was just no way. It was a good move.
Quote unquote, like we're probably breaking the game with this fucking mechanic, right? Like,
and the problem was, why was he okay with that? He fucking
they gave us a flash toy and took it away. It's I feel like the game kind of gave it back again though. And
that
then
was the worst part.
And people started getting used to it. If they just completely be like, fuck that shit and pulled out, and just not put it back in OP as fuck again.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have all the Andes.
It'd be funny if they buff it again and then nerf it again.
Just like a harvest roller coaster.
It's gonna get a buff, it'll be over buffed, and then they'll go, "Oh shit, fuck, did that wrong."
Yeah.
We've heard your complaints about harvest, and we are buffing the shit out of it. You guys excited?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like I was very okay with a lot of the nerfs. I just felt like they did way more than what they said they were going to. That's what I didn't like. Like, I was expecting to get like even the same amount of reforges almost, because I the way they worded it, I thought they were doing that. Like, okay, we're making you see more harvest, but we don't want to have you to have like 2 times the amount of reforges as last league, right? So we're nerfing the chance, or we're making the field smaller. So I don't know. I feel like they just did. It's so different than what they said. That's why I don't like it.
I mean, we all know the manifesto is a fucking, Jesus.
Yeah.
Are we all sufficiently triggered?
I think it was good. I mean, it would be kind of a boring podcast if everybody just agreed. So I think it's good. I think everyone had some good takes.
I think Quinn had more hair at the beginning of the podcast, dude. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, I'm not more. I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, we've talked about it logically, boys. I mean, there's some logical people and there's some illogical people in chat. You know, we're talking in the conversation at the end of the day. There's people who are right and there's people who are wrong. You know, at the end of the day, I know I'm right. So, you know, it is what it is.
My feelings matter, Quinn. I want to see it to your form beast, dude. My feelings.
Look, all I'm saying is I'm not sure I'm ready to share a hot tub with Quinn anymore.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't feel safe.
I'll be honest, dude. I opened it up yesterday. It was like foaming. It was like foaming. I fucked something up. It was like just foam was everywhere,
Have you
bro.
just ignored it for the past week after like getting
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that
yeah, yep.
Right.
Jesus.
All
Well,
right.
I don't know, man. You better fucking do something. Make sure some shit is ready if I'm gonna show up, because
The pool technicians come around like once a week now, so it's fine. We got people who, you know, they do it for us.
all right. And
next
get me a
next
stream
hot
set up,
topic:
guys.
hot tubs. No, I'm just kidding. I think that was pretty good, honestly. I think that was pretty good. I think we had some interesting discussions. Is there any surprise topics you guys want to bring up at all, or?
How do you feel quitting PoE like 2 or 3 weeks in, Quinn? Did you still get your fill? Just because you like played more in like a shorter time frame, or did you want to do a bit more? Was there, like a few builds you wanted to try, or you happy to move on, or what's going on there?
It was like 3 weeks, right? Wasn't it? All right. How long has the league been out for now? It's like, but it was quite far in. I mean, I don't know.
3 weeks, yeah.
I achieved my goals, right? My goal was like, you know, beat Maven on Soul Self and Hardcore, right? And I played it for fucking 13 days straight from the league launch. And then I went again. I must admit, my journey was cut short by Shaper's fucking beam. Obviously, I wanted to finish off one more build, and I probably, to be fair, it would be only an extra 2 days or something, right? He was like, that character was about to pop off, do Giga Dam, shred the entire game. And you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, he died. But no, honestly, like it's like I had a bunch of goals and I achieved them, and then I kind of got like, I was done with that character. The character that killed Maven with, I was like kind of over him. I was over him. Like before, you know, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? You play a character like level 93 or something, right? Well, that guy was like level 98, coming up to 99, right?
Oh, I'm
So
surprised you managed to get that much out of it, because that had to have hurt like all day, every day, that one character, and just you did.
Well, logic was this, right? It's like, okay, I haven't seen my wife and kids. Well, obviously I've been seeing them every day, but like only for short amounts of time. You know, for like 10 days or something. It's like, well, if I re-roll now, it'd feel better for playing the game, but then the goal of killing Maven, I move far further away from that goal. So it's like, yeah, you know. I was like, it's not the place. So I was like, no, I'm gonna keep playing Staff EQ, and you know, reinvent the staff meta for gladiators. It's a good as fuck build, by the way. It's a good build. If you meta, Andy's gonna try it. Like having block cap with, and on top of that low key. So I discovered a few days into my build that actually you can harvest craft the really good stuff, because you don't need the Elder mod to get the crazy fizz bleed multi roll. Whereas if you want to do an axe, it needs to be Elder, because it doesn't come with the roll. So War Staff's actually low key randomly OP with harvest crafting, because harvest is so fucking overpowered. You know, you can make like a nutty weapon just by re-rolling it just to any default War Staff.
Oh,
that does remind me. About your vengeance thing. Like, I thought I could give that a crack on softcore, you know, full potato softcore version, if you didn't, if you wanted to see something like that come to fruition, or if you thought it'd be too toxic for you.
I am going to go again. I am going to do the Venge build again. And on top of that, it is insane. Like, dude, I mean, do it, bro. Like, it's going to be nut. It's going to be nut.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm talking like a nutty, but I just know.
A chieftain or a Zerker or some shit, and kind of still focus a bit on the vengeance, but I'd go like abysses and all this sort of shit. And I'd obviously have like
Zerker,
400 million damage. So would that just be bad for you in the long term if I did something like that?
I can already see the clip now of Crip like going, like he'll be he'll be sitting there laughing away like, see, Mathil can actually make the build because he's not retarded. he'll be like, you know, in Crip words. I don't know how the fuck he says it, but you know, like you get the idea. He'll be sitting there laughing away, dude. Like,
Dude,
yeah,
I love
actual
that
good.
Cryptception clip. It was brilliant.
I fucking hate. I'm so dude. He's like trying to say that my build's trash and like it's just POB. Dude, literally like 3 item changes, my damage is gonna triple and like it'd be nothing. And it was already like 2 days in. Well, no, it was like 24 hours playtime on that one character. I'm in T16 maps cruising.
I can farm your helmet down.
Yeah, I needed a helmet. Oh, I mean, to be fair, I had a wait. Did you buy? Did I buy it off you? I had a really nice vengeance helmet chant. It was nice. But the point
I've
is,
bought a Vengeance Enchant Abyssus already. I'm good to go.
you've already done it. I mean, do it, bro. Do it. Just do it, bro. Just do it. Fuck yeah. I
Let's
mean,
see
it's
what I can do.
got
What do I
a trade,
need?
dude.
Just the Eye of Innocence and then just the Vengeance setup and whatever else
You
doesn't
need
matter.
all you need to do is get Eye of Innocence, 30% CDR Vengeance enchant, and you need to be getting crit levels to like you want to be getting them because you did a remastered Quin build with, and then you for whatever reason you decide to not cap your accuracy and your crit was just like scuffed. What was it the fucking static strike one? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it could have been so much more damage if you just done like these two, because you wanted to use an Abyssus instead of the one that made your strength have accuracy, and it would just been like, yeah, maybe slightly less damage, but the gameplay would have been 10 times better. And it would have been like, I mean, bro, I'm just saying.
Yeah, check this shit. Remember exactly how much I had.
It was like
92
90.
Crit chance with 99% chance to hit.
It was like, was that lucky though? Was that lucky?
Yeah.
Was it lucky though? Yeah, I do. That's not, that's not the
72 base, 99 or something. 92, sorry.
No, bro. No, but I mean, if you're gonna do this one, you need to be going 100% crit. 100% crit, okay, with no lucky. Like just base crit on chest, high base crit, or like corrupted gloves as well. Maybe if you need it. Maybe watch his eye.
Bottle faith,
I saw you at almost 100. It just it wasn't enough. There's got to be more to it than that. Still, we have to balance it a ton of DPS at the same time.
What we really should do is just all 4 of us roll Vengeance. Just different takes and see what Vengeance looks like.
It's good as fuck. Like, dude, the glide setup I was running was going to be hitting like with like, very minimal investment over 4.4 mil hits on average. So it's like, it's good as fuck. It's unironically sleeper. Like, it's double damage permanently if you're glad as well, which is tight as fuck for like very little investment. It's not the best in slot setup though. If you're trying to do giga dam though, yeah.
I don't know if would that double damage work with like regular double damage, like double damage focus as well? So there's only one double damage, right? Because it just sounds your counterattack steal double damage sounds kind of like a different mod compared to that. But if that already is a thing, then yeah, I don't need Gladiator at all. I can do something else quite comfortably.
Elementalist Ignite Vengeance.
I mean, mate.
Triple damage, motherfuckers. And Abyssus.
Oh, I could do the replica Abyssus.
That's so much worse than regular Abyssus, dude.
Yeah.
Like, damage incoming wise. Every time I want a replica Abyssus, it fucking hurt. Whereas, like, Abyssus, we can get away with it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, that'd be fun, actually. Shit, maybe we should do that. That's tempting.
You don't want to just fucking Herald of Agony down another Azaro? That sounds pretty fun, dude. I
am enjoying it a lot. It's fun. It's like Mephisto.
Keep sucking down that copium, baby.
I have so many exalts. I'm rich.
Look at my shiny pixels.
Utilizing your screen, okay.
Yeah, I'm on vacation league. I don't give a shit.
Okay, that's unethical. I'm afraid to say this.
Fuck gives a shit. I'm on trade league. It's unethical by nature. I don't care.
He's dealing in enchants. He's like, oh, this enchant, this one's probably worth like 20x. I'll give it to you guys for 19, though.
Almost every service run, like the only enchants that are expensive is like Burning Arrow on a Blizzard Crown. That's like pretty much the only really expensive shit.
Yeah, this is whatever you do, don't trade with Agent Wugo. Alright, that's an agent. If you trade with him, it's
he bought a Vengeance.
Whatever you do.
He bought a Vengeance CDR helmet off me.
He would be trying to sell it to me or something for like extortionate amounts, or just give it to me for free. Either or.
He bought a Crusader Vengeance helmet off me.
He knows.
And
knows,
he
dude.
actually messaged me while I was in lab when he saw the cooldown. He was like, that one, I need it. Do you have a Crusader helmet? I need that. Vengeance cooldown. How much? And I was like, I mean, there's another enchant. And he was like, I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
It's a meta build now, dude.
Yeah. Get ready. He's making fat stacks any second.
Ah. That was good.
So I'm going to start my stream now, yeah?
Yeah. You can start your stream and we'll throw a host over to you. Thank you, all of you. Mathil, Quin, Steel. Thank you for taking time out and joining me here today for this. That was a lot of fun. And a big thank you to chat. Thank you for shitposting. Thank you for the emotes. Good job.
Lol W.
Yeah. I hope you
Well
all
played all
enjoyed
around.
the podcast. I really did. I enjoyed it. I especially love when we don't
Fuck
agree on
yeah.
things.
Chat's fucking toxic.
Wow.
Well,
That's why I just wanted
You
to put that in
brought
there.
your entire chat over here, dude.
True.
Okay, dude. It's Ziz's chat. Those were the toxic ones, okay?
Oh yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for. A toxic
Yeah.
community.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's do some shout outs. Quin, tell us more. Where can we find more of Quin?
Twitch.tv/Quin69. And maybe later on tonight at your mum's house.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh.
Oh, it's actually Mother's Day. Holy shit. Oh, no. I need to do that. Oh, no.
Excellent. Mathil, what about you? Where can we find you?
Also, no, wait. Okay. Mathil, what's my Mathil1 Twitch? That's where I'm about to start streaming since we rudely cut into 2 hours of my stream time by doing this scuffed podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I have an Instagram too. Find that somewhere. I will sometimes climb. No one really cares. And a YouTube video coming up soon. I rarely post as much YouTube as Ziz does these days since he's trying to become big, powerful, and famous. And I don't really care as much. I'm just chilling.
Nice. Steelmage?
Yeah. You can find me shitposting in Quin's chat like 8 hours a day. And then sometimes
True.
I stream before that. Twitch TV/Steelmage. Good times, good times.
Nice. And yeah, I'm Zizaran on all platforms. And thank you all for joining, whether you're watching or participating. It's good shit. Thank you. And we'll see you maybe for the next league start or something like that.
Take it easy.
Peace.